Hello everyone, Barb here from barbaderholt.closetomyheart.com. Today's card is one that has been milling around in my mind ever since I saw this Triangle Trees bundle. I was able to get a hold of this in October and it sold out in the beginning of November. When the new catalog came out, it was gone. Different components were gone. The thin cuts were gone. And it's taken a little while to get them back in stock. So I was able to get this in October because I am a maker with Close to My Heart and we get a preview period. So you can see here in my catalog, I had this bad boy dog-eared because I knew I wanted it. So I did get the stamp set, the stencil set, and the thin cuts. So here are the thin cuts. I love the layering, different sizes. Here is the stamp set. Isn't that cute? I love all those different little images. Then I also have the stencils. Today we're just going to use the stencils that have the patterns on them. You can kind of see that there. But there is the stencil that is plain. So it gives you some nice options for layering. I have a piece of the pattern paper. This is from Evergreen. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Then I cut out 3 of the largest triangles, white, and then 2 in pine. And then I went down a step to cut out the next size smaller, and that is also pine pattern paper. This is the card. I made a 5 by 7 and it's a fun fold. So you flip it over and I just think that's really cool. The sentiment that I'm using is from the December 2023 stamp of the month. It is called Christmas Snow Globes. And I think this is a lovely sentiment. It says, thinking of you during this Christmas season. I am going to attempt to make some kind of card project featuring the snow globes. We'll see how that goes. To make my card base, now I did do the one that's a 5 by 7, and then I thought I would try it in 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size. So that's what this one is. And I used the same size triangles and it works just fine. To get this size, I have been gifted some 8 1/2 by 11 cardstock. All you do is cut it in half. And that's how you get this. Just like that, super easy. First thing I want to do is fold this in half. I'm kind of lazy, so I am just eyeballing. I'm not doing any scoring or any of that. I am just going to fold it. My stenciling is going to occur on the inside flap. So we folded it in half. So this is your 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch sized card base. Open it up and I am going to stick it under my stencil, and I have this tape to line up at the crease. It's just to keep me from ink blending over onto the other side. It wouldn't be the end of the world if that's what happens, but I like to try to tidy it up a little bit. And I'm just using some of this paper tape that we sell. I have my pine ink and my ink blender with my pine foamy pad on there. And when you're ink blending on here, you can start out light and build up the color. It's easier to add more ink. Very challenging to try to take ink away. You do want to be mindful because you've got this little doodad here. If you go this way rough, you will bend up your stencil. So be mindful of the direction of your stencil. I'm not going for a perfect blend. I am just getting some ink on here. And remember, this is on the inside cover. Again, with this guy too, you've got some little pieces that can get all bent up if you're not careful. On this one, everything is connected, so you don't have to be quite as worried. And that looks pretty good to me. Peel this up. And then I run it under water, wipe it off gently. It's good to go for the next time. So you can see here, that's in there. This is a sticky mat. This is from Ranger Tim Holtz, and I have been playing with it, and I really like it. It really holds the paper in place and held the stencil in place. I didn't have trouble with it slipping all over the place, and I think I ordered that. I might have ordered it from Simon Says Stamp or something along those lines. The next thing we're going to do, and I am going to crease this fold again with my bone folder. Now we're going to take that front flap that we just stenciled on, and we are going to fold it back on itself. So you're going to match up the edge with the fold. And I like to kind of start smooshing in the middle and then work my way out. I find that I don't get as much shifting when I do it that way. And again, with the bone folder, this is really one you want to have a bone folder or whatever you like to use to crisp up your folds. So there we go. Now we're going to make this part. I'm going to get some things out of the way so I'm not dumping onto the floor. I am bringing in my Spellbinders die cut machine. And the reason I went to a smaller size is because this machine can't handle that bigger size of paper. That I had to run through my electronic Gemini die cut machine. So if you have one of those larger die cut machines, that's awesome. Use that. This works here for videos, and so we need that biggest die. And what we're going to do is I want to get it lined up on here. So I've got this open, and I'm centering the die on that line. Eyeball centering it, you know, about the same distance from the top and the bottom. Try to keep it sort of straight. It's okay if it's not perfect. I am using some washi tape to hold this down so it does not shift. Paper tape may work and it may not. Now the next thing we're going to do, this is partial die cutting. So what we need to do is we need to put our plate where that line is, that fold line is. Anything under the cutting plate will cut. Anything over here won't cut because there's no pressure here. I just realized as I was looking at this that I want to put my cut one down. It's just my preference to always use the same cutting plate all the time, and then when it starts to get wonky, I switch out and I'll demote this one to cutting plate and put a fresh one on the top. And I'm leaving this hang out. I'm letting the lead of this be where there's no pressure. If I try to go the other way, I will bump up against this and it will shift on me and it makes me sad. So I'm gonna just start scooching it in, and you can feel that pressure start. You can feel that it's starting to hit the rollers. Okay. We'll continue out with this, and we're gonna carefully remove the washi tape. You can kind of fold it back on itself. So I'm getting a little bit of tearing there. Nothing terrible. So you can see here now we've cut that out. Just like that. It's really easy, and I don't find that this is going to be a difficult card style to mass reproduce. Get that out of the way, and bring in the rest of our goodies here. I am going to just do a little bit of ink blending around this paper, personal preference, not necessary to make the card look nice. It will look nice no matter what. My ATG gun, and we should end up with a nice little border here, just like that. Need these to go here, and I'm going to use this little tree right here and bring in that little foamy pad that comes in each of our stamp sets. I'm going to do tone on tone, so I have pine paper, pine ink, and when I have it on a big block like this, I take the ink to the block, because I find it very difficult to try to hold this and ink up the image. Apologies if my head gets in the way. Not bad. I think I will do this one as well. Just give it a little pressure all over. Pull it up. And not bad. I'm just going to wipe this off with my stamp chamois. That's just water. Now, I want to attach this little guy to one of the pine trees. Oh, pine tree. Oh, that's funny. Yep, I'm going to do this one. That one is a little bit off. Not enough for me to throw it away, but enough for me to not want it to be the focal point on the front of my card. So you do that, you choose the better looking one. And I'm going to use some glue, and I lay this down just like that and nestle it in there. This outer edge is the one you want to make sure is lined up. A little bit of white space over there isn't going to hurt anything. Just give it a nice rub so that it's solidly attached. Then we're going to open. And I do want to heat emboss my sentiment on here. I have done one with it attached and it was fine. In fact, I didn't find that it warped at all, so we're going to do it that way again. Again, being mindful of this edge here, because you want that card mechanism, that fun fold, to flow freely. This is where we can write our little message. In order for it not to stick out, I'm going to lay the nice side down, so right sides together, and I'm going to take some glue, put it on here, and fold the back over onto the top of that. Give it a little press, and there you go. So you can't see that, and I like that. I think that's a nice little surprise in the card. So other than embossing the sentiment on here, which will look like this, only on top of that image, here, I'll show you how it turned out. You can tell me what you think. Do you like it better on the plain tree or the tree with the design on it? I like it better on the tree with the design on it, so I think that's how I'm going to do them. So there you go. This is a really fun way to use the triangle dies with partial die cutting to create a fun fold in a fun shape. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, I would certainly appreciate that. Leave me a comment below. Nice, happy thoughts, always appreciated. Have a blessed, crafty day, and I will see you next time.